إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. All praise is due to Allah, and may blessings be upon the Messenger of Allah, his family, his companions, his followers, and those who spread his cause until the day of judgment. I testify that there is no God but Allah, the one who has no partner, and that Muhammad, peace be upon him, is his servant and final messenger. We ask Allah to bless our beloved Prophet Muhammad and his honorable family. Ameen. My brothers and sisters, we thank Allah for the blessing of the Muslim. We ask him to take us back at the time when he, subhanahu wa ta'ala, is the most pleased with us. Ameen. Allah told us in Surah Al-Hujurat, verse 7, He said, وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّ فِيكُمْ رَسُولَ اللَّهِ لَوْ يُطِيعُكُمْ فِي كَثِيرٍ مِنَ الْأَمْرِ لَعَنِتُّمْ وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ حَبَّبَ إِلَيْكُمُ الْإِيمَانَ وَزَيَّنَهُ فِي قُلُوبِكُمْ وَكَرَّهَ إِلَيْكُمُ الْكُفْرَ وَالْفُسُوقَ وَالْعِصْيَانَ أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الرَّاشِدُونَ. Allah said, and know that among you is the messenger of Allah. If he were to obey in much of the matter, you would be in difficulty. But Allah has endeared to you the faith and has made it pleasing in your heart, and has made hateful to you disbelief, defiance, and disobedience. And then Allah said, those are rightly guided. In the next verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَضْلًا مِنَ اللَّهِ وَنِعْمَةً وَاللَّهُ عَلِيمٌ حَكِيمٌ. It is a bounty from Allah and a favor, and Allah is knowing and wise. In these verses, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that the only reason why you love His deen is because of Him. He has placed that love in your heart. If you see that you are able to walk or drive miles to come to the masjid to pray, or if you see that you are able to spend your money in the name of Allah, or if you are able to fast or go to Hajj or pray at night, all of that is because of Allah. He has put that in your heart. If it wasn't Allah who blessed you with the ability, you wouldn't be able to do that. So if Allah has blessed you with the ability to do all those great good deeds, then know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen you, and He subhanahu wa ta'ala loves you. That is why He said in Surah Al-Maryam, verse 96, He said, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ سَيَجْعَلُ لَهُمُ الرَّحْمَنُ وُدًّا. Indeed, those who have believed and done righteous good deeds, the most merciful will appoint for them affection. If you believe and you do good deeds, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will love you. My dear brothers and sisters, nowadays us Muslims we tend to worship Allah a lot, but we forget the main purpose of worshiping Allah, which is to attain taqwa Allah, meaning fearing Allah. All the different acts of worship we do in our daily life should prevent us from doing anything that angers Allah. So what do we mean when we say taqwa Allah in Islam? Some scholars of Islam define taqwa Allah or fearing Allah as placing a protective barrier between yourself and Allah's punishment. If you want to be among the people who fear Allah, then do everything that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger has ordered you to, and avoid everything that angers Allah. If you can do that, then you will be among the people who fear Allah. Otherwise, it will only be words with no actions. And remember, Shaitan also said he believed in Allah, but his action wasn't true to his word, because he said in Surah Al-Hashr, verse 16, Inni bari'u minka inni akhafu Allah rabbal alamin. Shaitan said, indeed, I am free from you, indeed I fear Allah, Lord of the worlds. He said it with his tongue, but his action didn't follow. My dear brothers and sisters, everywhere we go in this world, there are people calling you to do good deeds, and people calling you to commit sins. People will call you to eat riba, committing zina, looking or listening to haram. So if you know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not like those things, then don't let Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala see you in those places with those people. There are also people that will call you to do good deeds. For example, going to study your religion, or pray at the masjid, or go to like an Islamic lecture to listen to educate yourself. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would love to see you in those places. So try to be there, inshallah. It was narrated by Ali ibn Abi Talib, may Allah be pleased with him, that taqwa is 4 things. The first one is to fear the punishment of the greatest Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We need to keep in mind that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is always watching us. So avoid doing things that will anger Him. Because no matter how many times you see in a day, as soon as you come next to the masjid or you go next to good people, you will feel ashamed of repeating the sins that you will do in secret. Because you respect those people. But remember, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his honorable angels are over you and they're watching you at all times. And they deserve your respect better than those people that you respect down here. That is why Allah said in Surah Al-Inshiqaq, He said, وَإِنَّ عَلَيْكُمْ لَحَافِظِينَ, but verily over you are appointed angels in charge of mankind to watch you. And those angels, Allah said, are kiraman katibin. They are kind and honorable. They're writing down your deeds. So if you know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his angels are watching you at all time, and you still commit sin, then that means you are disrespectful to Allah. Because for example, if they had to ask you, when you committed the sin, did you know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching you? And you reply yes, that means you disrespected Allah. And we know whoever disrespects Allah will not be safe on the day of judgment. But if they ask you the question and you say, no, I didn't know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't see me, that's even a bigger problem, because that's a sin that can take you out of Islam. The second one is to act upon the commandment, the Quran and the Sunnah. You cannot just follow the Quran and not follow the Sunnah. Both of them are revelation from Allah. So you need to follow everything that Allah and His Messenger ordered you to, and avoid everything that they have forbidden for you. The third one is to be satisfied with small amount of provision. With all the worship you do in your daily life, you need to be someone who is satisfied with small amount. Someone who is never satisfied will end up taking something that doesn't belong to them. And that's also a sin. And the fourth one is to pack up and be ready for the day of judgment. The day you will leave this world, move on to the next one and stand in front of Allah. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad said to Abdullah ibn Umar, he said, be in this world as if you were a stranger or a traveler. He said, if you survive till the evening, do not expect to be alive in the morning. And if you survive till the morning, do not expect to be alive in the evening. That should be how a Muslim should behave. Always remember death, because the way you will die, that's the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will raise you in the day of judgment. Dear brothers and sisters, if you want to be someone who fears Allah, you need to control your body and your soul. Your ears cannot listen to everything and you be someone who fears Allah. Your eyes cannot look at everything and you be someone who fears Allah. Your tongue cannot eat or say everything and you be someone who fears Allah. Your legs cannot take you everywhere and you be someone who fears Allah. Rather, if you want to be among the people of taqwa, you need to preserve yourself from all the fitna your body can lead you to. So what is the main purpose of fearing Allah in Islam? The scholars of Islam agreed that the reason why us human beings were created was to fear Allah. It is true that in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the reason why we were created is to worship Him. He said in Surah Al-Dhariyat verse 55, He said, I did not create the jinn and mankind except to worship me, which is true. But if you look at the worship we do in a daily life, you will see that worshiping Allah is a tool that will get you close to Allah. It is like having a phone. You know that if you want to call someone, you need to have credit inside the phone. If you don't have the credit, you cannot call someone. So it is the same way with us. In our daily life, if you want to be someone who fear Allah, you need to worship Allah every day. So our purpose in this life is not just to worship Allah, but is to fear Allah through our worship. Because no matter how many times you worship Allah, if that worship doesn't make you someone who fear Allah, then you're wasting your time. Because Allah said, Ya ayyuhan nasu ubudu rabbakum alladhi khalaqakum walladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. O mankind, worship your Lord who created you and those before you, that you may become righteous. Meaning you become someone who fear Allah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also told us to fast in the Quran. But for what reason? He said in Surah Al-Baqarah, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykumus siyam kama kutiba alal ladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. O you who believe, O you who have believed, decreed upon you is fasting, as it was decreed upon those before you, and you may become righteous. The righteous person is someone who fears Allah at all times. Same thing with salah. Allah said in Surah Al-Ankabut, verse 44, He said, "Ma uhiya ilayka min al-kitabi wa aqimis salah, inna salata tanha 'anil fahsha'i wal munkar." Recite, O Muhammad, what has been revealed to you of the book and establish the prayer. Indeed, prayer prohibits immorality and wrongdoing. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad said, the one whose prayer does not prevent him from committing sin, then that person's salah is not valid. Because Allah said, إِنَّمَا يَتَقَبَّلُ اللَّهُ مِنَ الْمُتَّقِينَ. Indeed, Allah only accepts from the righteous people, the people who fear Him. So if you do all these good deeds and you still commit sin, then know that your heart is not right. Because if you pray and that prayer doesn't prevent you from sinning outside, then you have to know that Allah will not accept your good deeds. So my brothers and sisters, let's all fear Allah before we start praying, inshallah. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. ربنا اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار. اللهم اغفر لموتى المسلمين في كل مكان. اللهم اغفر لهم وارحمهم وعافهم واعف عنهم وأقيم نزلهم ووسع مدخلهم واغسلهم بالماء والثلج والبرد. نقيهم من الذنوب والخطايا كما ينقى الثوب الأبيض من الدنس. وأقم الصلاة.